Listen to the forest and the tale that is sung. Your adventures have just begun. A place where heroes are truly blessed. Welcome to Evermeadow. What is your quest?
It is unfathomable to think that not only has the true Tempest been slain by Grumsh and Asmodeus over 1,000 years ago, but that the devil implanted his horsemen of war as our religious leader amongst the shadows to lead us into temptation. Not only this, but this creature posed in our highest position next to God is a fallen angel? And you mean to say that Cardinal Dazarath is dead, along with the Crusaders down below? Succubi have been servicing them, and now we are all godless? You certainly don't have to be. Greetings, Mortimer, God of Famine, how you doing? Are you the one I've heard so much about in such little time? We are asking a lot of questions today, aren't we? See, even there! Perfectly reasonable, however, for these are strange times we find ourselves in. So let me try and clear things up. From the information I've been able to gather throughout the years, yes indeed, your Pope was Dusk, the Horseman of War remade by Asmodeus after his fall from grace. He was an angel for the Primordial of Light Ezra, and well, let's see what he has to say about it in his journal. Should my flesh be unmade and my soul taken without my consent, I leave this brief journal of my history before I commit the ultimate test of faith. I was born by the beautiful and radiant Ezra, Primordial of Light, shortly after her own birth, along with her other Primordials from the Great Creator's will. My name was once Solroth, Archangel of Passion, and I felt truly blessed to be granted not only the gift of life, but the domain over such a fulfilling principle. And among my duties as her most faithful servant, it was my charge to become the guardian of the sun, protecting it from any threats that may arise and ensuring it keeps burning. In the many years I've lived, I have never known a more brilliant and alluring creature who could ever shine as bright as the embodiment of life itself. Long have I admired her and kneeled beside her golden throne in the elemental plane of light and kept to my holy task. Each moment, each second, my love grew and grew for my benevolent beauty. And I was not shy in expressing my love and desire for the one who brought me this unbelievable joy. She looked upon me kindly, though I would describe her gaze as motherly instead of one with potential and desire, as my intentions have been made apparent for so long. When I declared my love, proudly and boldly with all the passion in my heart could muster, I was rejected. Me, the faithful Solroth, shattered in a matter of moments. I realize that you, reader, are unable to comprehend the depths of my soul's reach, with the intensity that only one from a primordial home could express. Yet let me make myself clear that an elemental destiny transcends any journey that a mortal could possibly imagine. And yet, despite this, my beloved would not recognize me as the mate she destined me to be. It seems the charge she assigned me as guardian of the sun was far too important to be distracted from, yet was charmed by the offer. That means, dear reader, that I had no chance from the very beginning, cast to a life of service without the freedom of choice to do what my heart felt was right. So it should have come as no surprise to you that my passion turned to rage as I witnessed from my heavenly position as other primordials would court the most precious being in existence to me, over and over and over again. She has given birth to far too many gods in the cosmos to watch over the precious mortals. Oh, the fury is building in me yet again! For I remember on that fateful day that changed the course of my eternal life forever. But would I change what I did? Absolutely not. It's strange. After all these years, the act condemned me. Yet I don't even remember the name of the god I slayed in the fit of jealousy and passion, while she doted on him with such kindness and love. And it took all that time to realize that every soul, big or small, that crosses my path emits a light so bright that instantly brings that cursed Ezra back to my mind. Once the god lay bloody at my feet, and his soul faded, I realized that this was the way. That damned light, a constant reminder of her, would need to be snuffed out of each being that dares hold one in my presence. I grew stronger in secret, wielding two blades forged from the intensity of the sun, a perfect pair to slay the deity that held my love's favor, while I bathed in the sacred sun-drop chrism to increase my might. But alas, the most justifiable murder had consequences. The wrath I unleashed collided with the most powerful element in the world, soul, in a catastrophic way, ultimately costing me my arm, my blade, and Ezra's respect in me. For when she saw what I did, the look of righteous anger and frustration was devastating. And the blasted woman condemned me and any other angels who dare stand by my side, down to a realm made to imprison me. A realm where my angelic brothers gaze upon the fields of green and verdant gardens. But our descent changed who we were at our very core. Sundrop Chrism, as divine and glorious as it is also most flammable. And being cast from the heavens down below did indeed burn our flesh, our minds, our souls, our view of the world, but seared in hidden strength within us. True enlightenment does not come easy. Thus, why when we looked upon this bountiful land, with castles and orchards to feast from, we simply had to ignite our passions and start the endless war our spirits so craved, of course. What beautiful destruction our blades and fire bring! Even the realm cries out in fury as bolts of lightning blast anything flourishing and invoking immense power from our strikes. Vulcanir, the realm of war, the home I have reforged from my own hands. And, though the fields remain barren, a new crop started to sprout from the blood pools we've created. The angriest and mightiest warriors from across reality have been drawn to the ultimate challenge, a last man standing to see who is the mightiest in all the realms. However my intentions may differ from the barbarians who enter here, firstly, no one who sheds light in their soul shall be spared my wrath, save two precious targets. More on that later. And secondly, no matter how much she has scarred me, I refuse to end my existence until Ezra is mine, a golden trophy that blinds all with her radiance. That is why, as the years have passed, Asmodeus called to me in Vulcanir and proposed a deal I simply could not refuse. I would not attempt to destroy him. I would bend the knee to my new devilish master and serve as his horseman of war. Most importantly, my reward for my role in the end of days? The promise of my paradise, to own and hold dominion over the one my heart always longed for, Ezra my love. And so, yes, I manipulated the populace of Holyhearth by creating the foundations of the town, establishing myself as the true Word of Tempest, the recently slain god, and instructed the new pilgrims of the 10th cycle in the evil ways of Asmodeus under the guise of Tempest. All the crusaders that have died in the name of a god that no longer exists, added to the legions of hell. The first 5 founders, known as the Burning Blades, whom I instructed in the ways to create hellfire weapons that damn those they kill, disgraced, dead, all save one member. Even after all these years, but he is far too much of a coward to make himself known. And the current Bishop of Holyhearth, clueless to every little atrocious edict I demand of my flock. If it is truly possible that this journal was found amongst my corpse, know that you have bested the world's second strongest warmonger. And by now, you know that the gods you once revered are long gone. By my records, I can think of possibly 3 or 4 that remain as of the 14th of Cloverton in the year 1098. With my demise, know that I hold no regrets of my decisions. I've done what I've had to do to achieve my destiny, and no amount of innocent blood would have ever been enough to quell the passion that Soul Wrath commands. You've made a grave mistake. Well, that's definitely a grim tale that should have made one thing perfectly clear. Dusk, and by that extension, Asmodeus, has never cared about any of you personally or collectively, except to be fuel and instruments in amassing servants into his hell march. These crusaders can and will testify to everything my brave heroes have told you today, as well as preach the everlasting power and aid I provide to those loyal to me and who wish to take sweet, sweet revenge on Asmodeus. I will not lie to you, as it is something I abhor. My soul is bound to the devil. I am a god in chains, and somehow, somewhere, there is a way to free me so that I can usher in a new age of prosperity and redemption, instead of the famine and poverty I shall bring if I am unable to aid the material plane before the 1st of Cloverton in the year 1100. I am deemed a horseman like my former business associates. However, I was the only one in all the years of Asmodeus' reign to be given any significant amount of free will to carry out my own plans. So, good people of Holyhearth, I'm sure you are inside. The second most pious town on planet Alima. I will naturally not force anyone to join our side. But should you consider... That's what I like to hear! Welcome to the Sons of... Wait a moment. There has been a lot of confusion in the past about the name of our organization. You know, at first, it was to keep up appearances like we are loyal to the devil's cause. But as Dusk knows of my intentions, along with my brother Leroy, known as Dirge, it would be strange if Asmodeus did not know of my efforts to undermine him. Therefore, I shall rename us brave enough to face the Inferno with a name that is inspired by the unique and ultimately conquering magic I wield, as well as the efforts we are making to destroy everything Asmodeus ever cared about. Our group shall be known as the Withering. Be not afraid, ye brave crusaders, for many towns have joined the Withering, and more on their way, I'm assured. as a demonstration of how much the 5 individuals mean to me, watch as I conjure forth 2 blades made of the holiest material to ever exist, rune. Only through devotion, souls, and most importantly faith, can a god form this rare and magical and capable material into legendary armor or weapons. This is Centaur Nagpur of Telrabi, a brave rogue who, despite the dangers we have faced, has not signed a soul to me. Think of the courage she has taken to go toe-to-toe with some of the most dangerous foes due to her involvement with my favored servants of famine, and yet keeps coming back for more due to her loyalty and love for these former strangers. Now, as a god, I am unable to give rune freely to those whose souls aren't both bound to me and incredibly exceptional. However, she is willing to pay the price for such power for these blades of famine. And with further help from you, Holyhearth, and the rest of the planet, I can bestow mighty weapons to the rest of my chosen who brought you liberation. I will always be around to listen to the prayers and aid my people where able. Though despite what you may believe, it is difficult for gods to appear in the world they take care of, and thus why faith is necessary. Sonny, would you mind explaining?
Most definitely, my lord. Those who worship often and become paladins and clerics in the service, especially carrying holy symbols, shall boost their god buddy with their actions. The more locations in the cosmos who praise a god as a holy land, or have sacred altars where offerings can be made, shall constantly fuel the being with faith. Altars and holy lands are ideal places to perform rituals with fellow followers, as well as handmade tributes that show your god your appreciation. After all, you love when you get gifts too, right? While not always the right move, a living sacrifice upon an altar will send their soul straight to a god's realm, like a surprise pet adoption a partner makes for the couple. Crusades performed in the service of your master that end in victory shall empower the divine with amazing potential. As our god is of the domain of famine, he is as merciful in wealth as he is capable of acquiring it. So know that if you bend the knee, you will never know poverty. And believe me, a storm is coming.
Ominous? While I'm not entirely sure of the true depth of that statement, I can see you are impassioned by some force. But whatever the case, I welcome Holyhearth into the withering. Rest well, my spawns, for there are wrongs that need righting.